This is Mike here. I just want to make this video because it's too much of typing, and I want to share you like few cable saving tips we can use, because as you probably know, as medical assistants, it's our job to make sure that equipment works properly. We know what we are dealing through the day, and we want to save it so it saves lives, or it can actually be just a liability if we have equipment that's not working and we don't know about it. The other question is if we have to replace something that comes from the clinic cost, and eventually that's going to end up in our salary. It's simple as that. We want to make sure that we are doing our best to maintain the equipment good. So what I'm talking about is having some ports and trying to maintain things so they work appropriately. So this is EKG port, and you can find many similar like this. They have to be secured with this ring here. It actually can be unscrewed, and that's what sometimes happens. When it's unscrewed, this thing becomes wobbly, and then internal contacts in the box can break up. So we don't want that to happen. So just have a quick check and see if nothing is wobbly. That's as easy as that. And if it's not tight, just tighten. The other thing, when we hook up EKGs, so what oftentimes we are tended to do, what we want to do is kind of like start pushing and then twist it more left and right, and hopefully it's gonna fall into place, and that's the wrong way to do it. So the right way is to align it before inserting, not as we do it. And to do it, so there's a tip here. Yep, you can see that there's this prominence, and there's a small thing here. Yep. So we want to align those, not just like stick and then try. We want to first align those, because if that doesn't happen, and as we push it in, there's small pins inside, and we can actually have those pins like just twisted and break them off. That's what happened with one of our EKG, and we don't want that to happen again. So just align it and make sure that you are aligning those things, and then just click. That's it. As easy as that. The next thing is, and it also goes for other cables you might not think, so the USB cable, and many of new devices are using USB 3 plus, which are blue USB. You can see it's blue port. So the thing with that, it actually has more pins than regular USB cable, and we have this tendency to try to stick it in. If it doesn't go, stick it the other way. The problem with this, because of they're more complex, they are a little less rigid and more flexible, so you can actually force the cable wrong way in, and that's a problem. So if you don't do it, usually you would get a message something about like the device that you plugged in doesn't have enough power or something like that. But that's if you do it often enough, it's gonna break down. So easy tip, most USB cable have this picture on them. You see this like trident thing, and that should usually be upwards. So when you just make sure it goes upwards, and you see the picture, and then stick it in. It goes easy. You don't have to like move it a lot of times. And the last thing is cables arrangement. So EKG cables often get like all tangled, and how we prevent that, and that's actually a crucial part, because if we don't do it, what oftentimes happens, and you can see this thing going on here. Yeah, so this cable connection here, this part is not really, you have some bulging here, so the wires can break down inside. That is because of excessive torsion forces that goes on the cable. And what happens oftentimes, if we twist the cables and then we try to untwist them, they are actually subjected to pretty big torsion forces. So just to illustrate this, I'm going to use this simple cable. So what usually people do is like this. So when you just wrap it around, and as you try to unwrap it, it coils. and then as you try to uncoil it, that's when torsion happens. So the simple way to avoid this and have less problems is to use the cable as a cardigan. Yeah. So we want to just do it like this, a snake type. Yeah. Do not twist it. Just get it together. Make it bend a few times, and then you can secure it with something. Usually it has Velcros, or I like using Cobains because they're cohesive bandages. And then if you want to use the cable, what happens? See, it's all loose. No torsion, no coiling. So that's as easy as that. And the last part, so to avoid EKG cables messing with us, what we can do. So this is here is looks not pretty, but actually works pretty good. So I secured it with the Cobain. I can try to reuse it a few times. So as you might see, when I pull it, it all gets pretty, no coiling, no tangling. What I did here, it's just one of the ways. It's not like clinically proven way to save EKG cables, but this is one of the methods. You use Velcro, and as you wrap it, you separate and you separate and you put together some cables that you're gonna be using. So, for example, this is left and right arm. So I'm gonna use our arm cables. Now, if I don't do it too tight, I can actually pull those and hold the others stay together. Or as I undo the Velcro, it's gonna come up first. As I undo it, so it came out, but all the rest cables are still packed in. As I proceed, I have the leg cable, yeah? Left leg, right leg cables going. So that's just dealing with 2 cables, it's much easier than dealing with 10 cables. And the same goes for the rest 6 cables. So if you group them and as you go and you wrap them separately, like every twist includes like 2 or 3 cables, that's not terrible, and you can manage that. And then you don't need to, like, because what happens when cables get tangly, and what you need to do, you want to put this Velcro actually close to the ends. That's rest cable doesn't matter much. So if the ends are secured, so all the rest cable is pretty much stays in place. This is where the like you know, ladies, if you have a long hair, you know that the further you go, the more it gets tangled as you try to brush it. The same thing here. So you want to actually start with the ends, and if the ends are aligned, then all the rest is gonna be good. The same thing here. The ends are aligned and not messing up, you wouldn't have this tangling thing happening, and then you don't have to like pour cables, because oftentimes when they tangle a lot and you try to rapidly untangle them, oftentimes what happens, so it gets coiled a lot and you pull it and it can actually just rip the cable, and then you have a poor EKG signal and you don't know what's the cause of that, and you think the device is malfunctioning. Maybe it is, maybe you didn't put a sticker right or something. It just takes your time away, and then you have to do more job. So as easy as that, maintaining your cables, think of that as being a habit. You do it once, twice, 3 times, and then you don't even notice that. If you just watch this video and you're like, oh, this is terrible, this is too much of a job to do, this is too much of memorizing. No, it's not too much. You just do it a few times and get used to it, and next time you wouldn't even notice that you're doing that. So please, everybody, stay stay healthy and have a great day. Thanks for watching.